Hey everybody, I'm 5 minutes late on the stream today because I hit the start streaming button and I didn't hit the go live button. So I've been talking here to myself for the last 5 minutes. My mod at the moment is with my daughter getting Dutch Bros coffee. So if she'd been here, she probably would have come back here and said, you're not on. But I didn't have that. So happy Father's Day, everybody, from an old dad who feels older every day. This has been a crazy week. Primarily at work. I'm a database guy. I have a database I've focused on for about the last 25 years, honestly. And over that time, I started it in Excel. It's gone through like 4 or 5 different platforms since then. Data transfer into a new system, et cetera. So I just did another one this last couple of weeks. So it's been a little busy, a lot of stuff to work out. I mean, it was a pretty good data transfer. I can't complain, but you still got finessing to do. There was a couple kinks I needed to work out of it. And we're heading right into quarterly reports in my industry. Pardon me. So I've been dealing with that as well. It's just a lot of juggling. So my brain is like completely addled. But here we are, finally actually live. The world can rejoice. Hey, there's my mod. Apparently she's VAC. That's a awesome typo. Anyways, speaking of brain being addled, though, I actually got to get outside and get some work done in the yard. Back in December, my crazy dog, broke like one of my ribs. First broken bone I've had in my entire life. Can you believe it? I made it all the way to like 52 without a broken bone. And obviously the insane Kelpie is the one who delivered it for me. But so I have not done a lot of heavy anything in that time. Because just letting it heal up, it wasn't like a bad break. I didn't even go to the doctor or anything because I could tell what it was. And, so it's better now, but still I haven't been as active as I'd like to be. My fitness level is definitely down, but got outside, got some work done before it got really hot. It's kind of nice. That's something, if you're a dad and you got a yard and, just like things are bugging you, get outside, like mow something, trim something, rake something up, sweep. It's like, dude, it's like Zen. It like helps calm you. It helps take your mind off of other things. Usually nobody else wants to go outside with you, so you're left alone. You can think, you can ponder. It's good stuff. It was nice. Nice getting out and doing that yesterday. And there's a lot more to do. So I'll have next few weeks, I'll have plenty of yard work that I can do. Anyhow, so yeah, crazy kind of week, but not too bad. I can't really complain. It wouldn't do any good anyways, so what the hell. So news-wise, pop culture news. There's a Superman movie coming out, apparently, and I don't know if you know this, James Gunn is involved. Yeah. So I saw their final teaser, trailer, preview, whatever you want to call it. People call them trailers all the time now, and I'm like, you never see these at the end of movies. They used to be called trailers because they played them at the end of movies. They're always previews now, but trailer kind of sounds better. At any rate, they put the last one out, which pretty much cemented, I don't think this is for me. Not really a James Gunn guy. It's just a lot of crazy CGI that I don't really dig, honestly. But I saw somebody on Twitter say that this is designed more for a younger audience who's into anime, etc. And I thought, you know what, man, I think he's right, honestly. It looks a little more frantic. It looks like stuff that the young people, as they say, might kind of dig if they show up. I mean, I think that's sort of it's a risk, because the youths just ain't going to movies like they used to. And if you're kind of focusing on that crowd, with a property that they're not like already in love with, a la the Minecraft movie and maybe the Mario Brothers one, it could be a little tougher to get them in there. I think a lot of movie makers probably need to reconcile that their core audience, if they want to get regular movie going, is probably like older millennials through the remaining baby boomers, because we were all the ones who had the habit of going to the movies on a very regular basis. And we probably also have more money to spend on tickets and snacks than a lot of younger folks who are kind of stressed out right now about their finances. So we'll see if it works out for them. And I mean, it looks like it'll probably be, a fun movie, but it's stuff that I'm just not that wild about. The Fantastic Four one, on the other hand, I don't know. I'm getting a feeling it might genuinely bomb. Maybe not. They've been claiming record ticket sales, which don't seem to be accurate. It's kind of just some, PR propaganda stuff, but I don't know. It seems like the revelations of the Superman movie, there's a few that kind of annoy me. Because it's a real mix and match with the character over the last, what are we at? 80, 85 years, just about. Some stuff that I'm not that into, some stuff that I do kind of like, but what's the tone going to be, et cetera. But some of the Fantastic Four stuff just is like, oh geez, are they doing this again? I don't know, man. We'll see. It might do really well. I know. It's going to have an audience of some size, but I mean, and I'll be honest, as soon as Pedro Pascal was Mr. Fantastic, it was like, no, I'm not going to it. I don't care. I just don't dig that dude at all. I don't think he's that great of an actor. I think he's utterly devoid of charisma. And even if I did like him, I can't see that guy playing Mr. Fantastic. There's some rumors that they had a lot of trouble casting the movie at all, because obviously Disney is just not, it's not making people in various parts of the industry real thrilled. He's definitely not fantastic in any way. I know a lot of younger folks dig him. They like Pedro Pascal. God bless you. That dude seriously gets on my nerves. But at any rate, so those are the big movies, and they're probably both going to get their asses kicked by Jurassic Park if you get right down to it, which also, frankly, doesn't seem that good either. Man, I saw the previews for Jurassic Park, and you're going, if they're not using AI to write all the dialogue in these things, they might as well. The dialogue just from the clips was terrible. I got to be honest, too. That F1 movie, the dialogue I saw in that preview was friggin' terrible. It's like just the same damn lines in every damn movie. I don't know. I was like, I've seen people, it looks really awesome. And it might look awesome from a special effects standpoint, but I was just like, God damn. Like, I knew what these characters were going to say before they said it. And I knew how they were going to act it too. It's the same faces. It's the same exact delivery. It's the same lines. Yeah, I mean, and this is not new to nowadays. You'd see that in a lot of stuff, but you typically see that kind of thing back in the day and in the sort of kind of mediocre, lower budget world, of stuff. And not what might be considered the upper tier of films. I don't think there's an upper tier of films anymore at the moment. I'm an old guy, so it's maybe just me complaining about crap and yelling at clouds and what have you. I did see this, though. Matthew McConaughey sets True Detective reunion with Nick Pizzolatto on Mike Hammer movie based on the book series. So I reviewed the old Mike Hammer TV series that starred Darren McGavin on my channel. You could find it up, just Google it or search on YouTube, which I enjoyed. I thought it was pretty fun. Interesting casting. I picture Hammer as being maybe a little bit more built out thuggish than McConaughey. He's an interesting character, can be extremely violent, but he has this definite sense of like right and wrong. And if you're in the wrong, he doesn't give a crap. He'll do what he has to do to get around you, to get through you, to get to, to save somebody, to whatever. It'd be interesting though. McConaughey he is a pretty good actor. I mean, he's capable of putting himself into different parts, different roles, pretty effectively. So he might be up for it. Well, I mean, we'll see. Mike Hammer is also a series, books, etc. that, not meant for the current day in a lot of ways. So we'll see. Does this thing is this going to be countercultural, even though, the heights of the culture are held by a group that is not representative of the majority at all. But they do seem to sort of set the terms, right? So when I say countercultural, I mean counter to their culture, but something that, you could see normal people liking, right? It's a guy going out and beating the crap out of crooks, which a lot of us kind of like, yeah, why not? I mean, they're crooks. Deal with them. I mean, not that I'm saying in the real world, I much prefer a legal system that doesn't involve just private individuals beating the hell out of people. But I mean, in terms of fiction, it's enjoyable. So I think it could be real popular, but will they stick to the books? Are they going to modernize it? They might. They very well might, because I could see McConaughey doing that too. And I don't know what they'll come up with, but interesting anyways. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. Other piece of news, which is really more Vegas centric, the amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con coming up, June 20th through 22nd. It's at the Plaza Hotel, which I'm not going to lie to you. It's downtown Vegas. I don't do downtown Vegas very much. I mean, for one thing, there's always parking, although you could probably get the parking at the Plaza Hotel. But I think they've tried to improve downtown, but it's a little off. I think downtown Vegas is great if you're in like your 20s and your 30s and you like to drink. When you're in your 50s and you really don't drink anymore, maybe not that great. But $25, $35, depending on the day, for tickets. $65 for a 3-day pass, so that's not bad. They got J. Scott Campbell is going to be there, Jeff Loeb, Ryan Otley, and Frank Cho. So, J. Scott Campbell, Frank Cho, fan favorites, right? Art-wise. So that might be pretty cool. And there'd probably be a lot of folks there showing things off. I don't mean that in a weird way. Although it's going to be right near Fremont Street. So maybe I mean it in a weird way. But, so, if you're a Vegas native, or if you're, in the Vegas area, I have a hard time believing people are going to fly here from far away just to go to this Comic-Con. But, if that's the case, just be aware. It is coming up, in another week or so. I guess in another week exactly. So, something to look out for. New releases, new campaigns that have caught my eye. Let's take a look at a few. From Kino Lorber. And I still need to get the Phantomon movies. They're in my YouTube cart with a couple other things. I need to do it. At any rate, French Noir Collection Volume 2, 3 films. Rhine Virgin, 1953. Oh, Man of War. Nearing 6 sounds about as much appeal as French Quarter. Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, if you're young, that crap is just fun. You just go wild. And you get a little older, and it's like, I think I'd rather stay home. I could stay home and drink, and it'd be a lot more fun. So you get 3 movies in this one, and I'll be honest, I have not seen any of them, but I am interested. I've heard a lot of good things about French film noir. Rhine Virgin from 1953, The Beast is Loose, 1959. I'm sorry, 4 movies. Trapped by Fear, 1960. The Passion of Slow Fire, 1961. So if you're into French film noir, new collection coming out, you might want to check that out. And I'm definitely like looking for some of these movies, seeing if they're out there somewhere I could watch them, because I'd like to give it a try. I've heard I don't know if he talked about film noir in particular, but Chuck Dixon was talking about liking some of these kind of movies, and I respect Dixon's taste in things to some degree. We differ on a few things, but if he's into it, if he thinks there's some value to it, probably worth taking a look. 7 days remain on the Indiegogo campaign for Infinitale Chronicles, The Way of the Trees, number 2. Yeah, hey, happy Father's Day, hail, sir. So this is one, I was going to bring this up like a stream or two ago, and I didn't, I forgot. It looks pretty good art-wise, sort of fantasy stuff, but what I thought was really interesting is what they're doing. They have 3 versions you can get. So there is a standard edition, and you see the image right there for that. There is a alternate art edition, and then there is a manga edition. So it's set up, well, as you can see, kind of like manga style in the way it's set up. Okay. I just got a text. I'm like, what the heck is that? Just wanted to make sure it wasn't something crazy. Yeah, so anyways, you might want to check it out. So there's 3 different versions. There's a lot of cool stuff along with it. Infinitale, I'm assuming is how it's being pronounced. Chronicles, The War of Trees, number 2, on Indiegogo. 7 days left in the campaign. If you dig fantasy, you might want to check it out. There's a good image there of a, sort of hot female elf kind of character. So if you're from the generation that grew up on that with like a record of Lodos War and stuff, this might be for you. You might want to take a look. This one I just thought I'd bring up. Svengoolie, which I'm a big fan of, although I missed it last night because we had people over. I'm not a huge fan of Son of Dracula, so I'm not that sorry I missed it. But so he's done like these artist editions of different kinds of merchandise. This is an artist named Franco. And I really kind of dig the image. I just thought I'd share it. I might pick that one up. I like that shirt. Or maybe I'll, wife or daughter will pick it up for me, because they've gotten a couple things for me over the years. Any rate, just thought I'd throw that one out there. You weren't supposed to see this stuff. Oh, what, the Svengoolie one? Oh, well, I'm on his mailing list, dear. What do you want me to do? New from Ripasend. Death Shroud, Forged in Shadows, Part 1, from Chad Larson and V. Ken Marion and Kanan White. Looks very cool. 192-page graphic novel that reprints the original Death Shroud material, plus 96 pages of new story. Shipped September 2025. Looks pretty groovy. Checked out all crowdfund safe for Nolan, the Presti, and Kenneth. I love Nolan and the Presti for sure. And I know I'm the same way. When it comes to the crowdfunds, I do tend to work with people who have delivered. And there's a few others who have as well. Brian Baugh has been great. Josh Howard has been great. Pete Samedi has been great. There's a few folks that I definitely trust. When it's new ones, the real deciding factor for me is on the art and on the price. You know, if the price is a little bit too high, I don't know if I want to risk it. If the art isn't quite there for me, I probably am not going to risk it either. Hey, happy Father's Day, Anton. How you doing, man? But yeah, I haven't totally given up on it. But I do have a few that are very, very late and I'm probably never going to see, which bums me out. And I get it. Like, you know, better to go to the local comic shop and pick up something physically in your hand, you know, than to risk it. I guess with Kickstarter, at least if it doesn't fund, at least you can get a refund. Like they don't charge you right away, but I get it. Does your pug count? Absolutely, man. Come on. I mean, you know, I know I got a dog and I got a kid, and obviously if I had to choose one over the other, it's the kid rather than the dog. But you know, why not, man? You know what you can do also in life? If you don't have kids of your own, you could be a father to younger people around you, right? You can judge them, you can criticize them, you can tell them what they're doing wrong. No, seriously though, you can be a dad. You could be that influence in people's lives of helping them out with stuff, and you know, and yeah, sometimes if they're being stupid, sometimes you need a fatherly voice saying, "You're being kind of stupid. You need to cut it out and get your crap together." I think if you look at the world around us right now, you can see there's a large swathe of people that didn't have a loving father telling them to cut their crap. And they've kind of gone down a crap rabbit hole into a lot of problems. But yeah, we love pugs in this house. So we're very pro pug here, for sure. Especially my daughter. God, she loves pugs. But anyway, so Death Shroud, pretty cool. And, you know, obviously I've had really good success with everything from Ripaverse and from Ripascend. So, you know, they get stuff out mainly because rather than them doing it as sort of a crowdfund, it's really more pre-orders. So I think with Death Shroud, you're definitely going to get the product, and it looks pretty cool too. Oh, okay. Which Planet of the Apes character? We need the info, because I just started watching the old Planet of the Apes TV series this week, which I think there's 13 or 14 episodes. So it's not going to take a long time to get through it. But you know what? I really dug it. And the one character, the blonde dude, like I didn't realize that was the guy who was in 87th Precinct, which is a cop show that I reviewed a while back. And he was in Land of the Lost, which I just finished watching. And I did not connect this at all. Oh, cool. Titans, Robert E. Howard. Yeah, I know. And I keep hearing about it. And I need to check it out. I need to check out the Conan stuff because I'm hearing everything good about it. Yeah, and that's exactly right. Support it until they give you a reason not to. Man of War, you might want to check out the Atlantean that Russ Leach is doing. It's basically It's basically King Cole against the Serpent People. They did a graphic novel called The Shadow Kingdom, and now they have 2 issues of the Atlantean out that are continuing the story. The third one, I think they're going to be crowdfunding pretty soon. Very, very reminiscent of the old Marvel Savage Sword of Conan. It's that size. It's the black and white artwork. I've done a couple reviews, so you might want to check those out. They're pretty fun. It feels like good old-fashioned barbarian stuff. Moon Girl, speaking of not old-fashioned barbarian stuff, this is a comic that was done by EC, written by Gardner Fox, art from Dorothy Rubicek. Oh, I'm sorry, no, written by Gardner Fox and Dorothy Rubicek, illustrated by Sheldon Moldoff and Johnny Craig. So they're doing a collection. Dark Horse is doing a collection of the issues 1 through 8. And it's going to include EC's first horror story, Zombie Terror. That was in issue 5 of Moon Girl. it's 368 pages for $60, which is pretty good, actually. Friday night on CBS. Yeah, cool. Oh, yeah, there's Planet of the Apes. It's like Planet of the Apes was as big an IP as like Star Wars, as James Bond for a time. I mean, it was like the movies, TV, comic books, magazines, toys. It was huge. And it seems like when Star Wars sort of showed up, it's like it almost disappeared from the public consciousness, you know? And now, of course, we've gotten some new movies, but not to the degree like that we had. I mean, the US was like, well, not just the US, the world was friggin' ape crazy. Like you had that one Japanese, I think it was a TV series that they kind of made into a movie that they did on Mystery Science Theater. I think it's Time of the Apes is what it's called, which is actually pretty damn fun. You had the bad guy on the Japanese Spectre Man was the ape dude. So yeah, it was like a huge deal. It's amazing how big it was. And I was like just young enough to have sort of missed it, like the real intensity of it, but I've always loved it. And I remember I catch the movies though, like on Saturdays. Usually not the first one. And usually the sequels would show up, but they were very cool. And I'm definitely an Apes fan. Oh yeah, the cartoon. The cartoon was good. The cartoon was definitely good. Yeah. So anyway, Moon Girl, you might want to check that out if you're into 40s comic books. Okay, I know. This is where we're mostly manly here, but also from Kino Lorber, coming August 19th. This is partly from my wife too. Xanadu in 4K. There's actually a 4K for $30, Blu-ray for $17, with a lot of additional commentary. But dude, if you just need to, like, I don't know, just watch something bizarre and crazy, Xanadu is not a bad way to go. Weird movie, but really kind of fun, like design to it. And you got Olivia Newton-John, you know, great singer, etc. So yeah, great music, right? I love it. It's something my wife introduced me to. I probably never would have been into it. And it's just so weird. You got the roller skating going. She's like, I think she's one of the muses who comes down from Mount Olympus. You got Gene Kelly in it. I mean, it's fever dream. Exactly. It's a fever dream. Now it's going to be a fever dream in 4K. So you might want to go check that out. Like I said, this is a show for all sorts of pop culture and weird pop culture for sure. This is another one I forgot I was going to talk about, I think, last time. The Art of Rumiko Takahashi, colors from 1978 to 2024. It's an art book. This is the English edition, coming in September. 400 pages, so it's a big dude. Roller disco. Okay, roller disco, but what about rollerball? With friggin', what's his name? James Caan. Rollerball, come on, that's... Okay, it's not roller disco, but, I mean, roller skates are involved. Roller skates aren't all bad. So, Takahashi, I mean, Urusei Yatsura, Ranma 1/2, Inuyasha, I mean, this lady did some amazing stuff. So this is a collection of her art, 400 pages. Thought people might be interested in that one. New series coming from Norfrika, from Rippaverse, sorry. So Norfrika, Glorious Death, by Eric July and Ronaldson Frere. I assume that's how it could be Fryer. Not sure how you pronounce the name. There's a short teaser video up, about 8 seconds long, but this is like the death metal band with superpowers. Apples, yeah. I know, but I'd like to think that if James Caan had Olivia Newton-John introduced into his life, that it all would have ended differently in Rollerball. I firmly believe that, and I have the fan fiction to back it up. Maybe one day I'll release all that stuff. So Norfolk, though. So basically, metal, superpowers. I don't know what these guys are fighting, But when these guys were introduced in ISO #1, that was one of the things that people like perked up and said, well, we're getting more of these dudes, right? Right. So apparently we are getting more of these dudes coming soon from Rippaverse. I'm not sure when they're launching this, but you can go check out the little 8-second thing. It got me thinking, like, there are a lot of great new comic book like universes kind of budding up right now. You got the Rippaverse, which is fun and it's expanding. Got Zalen in there now doing the sort of cosmic sci-fi. You got the Genuine Verse from Dave Brink with Perfect 10. And I mean, just a massive collection of characters. Like, my only complaint with him is, can't you give me like a book every month? Because I want to check in on all this stuff. I need to know more. It's really great stuff. You got Aaron Lopresti doing his stuff, kind of universe. And we're going to talk in a minute about what Graham Nolan's doing too. But there's really a lot of good stuff out there for folks who kind of miss the old Marvel DC dynamic of a cohesive universe. Now, of course, other than Rippaverse, you know, they're generally being done by a single creator. You know, so it's not like where you can go pick up 7 or 8 new Marvel or DC books every week practically. But, you know, still it gives you kind of that feel, man. It gives you kind of that feel. So, last new product I saw that I thought was pretty cool. Get ready for this name. It's Japanese toys. They don't mess around. They like long names. Microman Legacy Soul T-Spark Microman Command #1 exclusive action figure set from Takara. So there you go. Little Microman stuff. Oh, I know. Look, man, if you dig it, it's good. That's what Duke Ellington said, right? If you like it, it's good. Not everybody has to agree on stuff like that. Read whatever you dig. That's the way to go. It's all about, look, in your life, it's about you, right? What do you like? Doesn't matter what other people like and don't like. And when you can find other people who like the same thing, that's cool. You get a little connection, you know, but just dig what you like. I read a lot of and watch a lot of weird stuff that other people don't really dig. You know, none of it's illegal. Don't worry. But that's cool. I don't expect them to. It's just for me. But a lot of people might dig this. So you're talking Microman, which is the foundation of Micronauts. 4 figures. It's a pre-order now on Big Bad Toy Store. $100 for the set. Delivery February 2026. What got me though also is the names of the characters. East Hernandez, Eric Hernandez, Elda Hernandez, and Evans Hernandez. I have no idea where those names came from. But what you get is you get the figure, you get the wing attachment, and then you get the little pod that goes with them. So it's pretty cool if you're into Micronauts and stuff. And those old toys can be kind of hard to find in good shape. And Super 7 just started putting out some Micronaut stuff. I did a review on that a while back. And the comic book was rad. And I'm hoping that the Super 7 line is going to bring in some of the comic book characters or things that weren't necessarily part of the toy line. I'm hoping it's kind of a merger of the two. But yeah, you might want to check these out. They look, again, I mean, they look pretty rad. You know, obviously they don't really run or fly on their own, but they look good. I think they look good on a shelf. $100 for 4 of them, though. It's $25 a piece. So that's not like, it's not completely nuts in terms of like action figure type prices. They're 3 3/4 inch. So I think they probably are along the same scale as the old Micronaut figures, which they're actually just a little bit smaller than the old Star Wars figures, just a tiny, tiny bit. But I'm figuring they're probably pretty close. So something you might want to look out for. All right, before I do this review, let me take this down for a moment. I want to review, speaking of Graham Nolan and Chuck Dixon and Anthony Gonzales-Clark, this arrived this week, Joe Frankenstein 3, The Eye of Ra. very cool. You also get some art pieces like so. And I got a couple things sitting on top of things. Here we go. You got like a little, you got a sticker. You got a bookmark, which I'm actually finding I'm using those a lot more than I thought I would. And you got this card, Frankie on one side, and there he is as well. So, what do we think of Joe Frankenstein? I read it this morning. Very cool art. Here's a quick look. Middle of the book. Some crazy stuff. What it is, and this bringing up universes. Oh, cool. I think you're going to dig it, man. So it begins with sort of a story about in the past finding this Egyptian tomb. So it's very in the vein of like the old Mummy movie. It's that 1920s era kind of archaeology thing. And so what happens with all of that? And then it goes to the modern day at the very end. So it's really kind of setting up the next phase of the story that he's doing with all these different characters. So I don't want to get into it and spoil it very much, but the big thing for me with this one was, the first two is Graham Nolan artwork. I really dug it. Different artists now, and Gonzales-Clark is good. I'm like, am I going to dig it as much? I did. I liked it. I love the art. Slightly different take on the characters. At least it seems like it at first, although at the end, not as much. But the Frankenstein character calls himself Lazarus. Slightly different look, but then you go, well, it's like the 1920s. It's a long time ago. But I dug it. I liked it, and I liked the setup, and I definitely kept me engaged. Just the whole exploration, discovery, and it's got some tropes, from those kind of movies, but in a good way, not like a lazy sort of way. Again, you get to see another one of the Frankenstein, family from back in the day. I really liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. It's really, I've heard about, I saw the Invisible Man one, Anton, and I didn't pick it up at the time. But I'm tempted. Yeah. I've heard good things about the Universal stuff too. So we'll see. Oh yeah. Oh, I just saw what Manowar said about Mantlo. Yeah. Yeah. Micronauts was, dude, you got to give it to Mantlo. That what they managed to do in Marvel with Micronauts and with ROM, as long lasting as those series were, and in a way as short-lived as the toy lines. I mean, they outlived their toy lines, which is pretty amazing. And also the G.I. Joe and Transformers stuff they did. Marvel's pretty damn good at taking toy lines and turning them into comic books and really making them stick. I mean, obviously, Larry Hama was involved in designing the G.I. Joe Real American Hero stuff as well. So it was always kind of designed for the comics as well as the toys, but still amazing stuff. The one thing I thought was funny, though, in this Joe Frankenstein book was a lot of this has to do with finding this Eye of Ra. It's like this staff, right? And I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but we've recently had some really cool facsimiles out. So this is Brave and the Bold, number 57, introducing Metamorpho, the Elephant Man. Oh, my God. My brain is fried. The Element Man. Which I just read this, and what is a big part of it is this scepter, this staff of Ra, that apparently is like a weakness for Metamorpho. And I gotta say, dude, the art in this is fantastic. God, and I looked up her name too. Ramona. Is it Ramona? Let me hold on a sec here. Ramona Fraden. Ramona Fraden is her name. Really friggin' nice. It's got a little bit of the cartooniness to it. The There's elements of it remind me a little bit of like Steve Canyon. I really liked it. I was so glad I bought this thing. I've always been kind of a Metamorpho fan. So, I mean, it wasn't weird. And I didn't realize that apparently with Metamorpho, like part of the deal is I just assumed he could form into any element, period. And maybe they've retconned it that way over the years. But in here, they make it clear he can only manifest elements that are inside the human body, which kind of limits what he can do. And I thought that was really cool. Really cool. So let's look at some stuff that's sort of shown up here recently in the, hold on. I'm not that excited about the movies. So I'm probably not going to go. $80 for the Galactus head, man. Like, no, honestly. Although I could see why people would, because it looks pretty cool. I don't know where the hell I'd put it. And $80, I'm like, I got other stuff to spend $80 on right now. Yeah. But, so stuff that's shown up recently, I hit the local comic shop on Friday, got the latest Fantastic Four facsimile. They're doing 1 through 12, apparently. Batman #9, which I've actually read all these. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if they, I mean, you do get the Joker in this one. I don't know if the point of this particular one was because the cover is so well known, or if there was a particular story they wanted to do. This is one that 50-cent bin, a horribly mangled copy of Peter Parker, This Spectacular Spider-Man, #1. Oh, a movie. Yeah. Okay. I get that. Yeah. If you're doing the critic thing, you gotta go to everything. I mostly am just a, fat guy that likes to talk about pop culture. And I only got so much time in my life. So it's like, God, man, the money involved. Yeah. If I was making money doing movie criticism and stuff, or really building a channel, like I do criticism, but what I try to focus on is, here's something I think is cool that I think all of you might like, rather than I'm going to cover everything new. But God bless you. Hey, and I hope you like them too. Like, you might have fun with them. Who knows? So anyways, yeah, this is, it's in terrible shape, but I thought, who else is going to take this poor thing? And mostly I just wanted to read the story, but I was like going, holy it's in #1, baby. I don't know is there even a rating for that condition of comic book at this point? So I got another Sable, Return of the Hunter, which I've sort of like. I like the original, the first Sable series a little bit better. Yeah. X-Men, The Brood. It's fun when you can find, and this is 50-cent bin stuff. And then we got Green Arrow #4. That's the new format after the Longbow Hunters. And they had a few little slightly older ones at nice little prices. So I grabbed a Wonder Woman, and I grabbed 3 issues of World's Finest, which is one that I actively collect. I don't have a massive collection of World's Finest, but I got a few. So I also got a couple things for Father's Day, and I got kind of a late birthday present. So my sister, what would Skeletor do? What does it say? Diabolical ways to master the universe. And it's kind of like, it's some of the stuff from the Skeletor memes that'll show up online. I thought it was fun. So, and then to go with that, she got me one of the newer Masters of the Universe figures. So it's like the retro styling, but it's a new figure. So that was fun. That was from my sister. My wife, Dark Shadows. This is like the comic book font, I believe. So t-shirt and a few other little things. But for my daughter, speaking of Fantastic Four, the board game featuring Herbie, so it's based on the cartoon slightly, from 1978. So I've had my eye on this one for a while, and I've never ended up buying it, but I believe it is complete. I hope it's complete anyways. We'll find out. Oh, that's interesting. This thing is partly outside of the box. There we go. There's the board. So that was very cool. I got to say, my daughter is actually pretty darn excellent at getting me presents that I, probably wasn't going to grab myself and that I really dig. She got me this for my birthday. It's a Yogi Bear mug. Kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's just one of these things where I'm going, I didn't even know this existed. And yet I've always wanted it. So good job from the child. All right. Well, we're going about 50 minutes. We'll have a couple. So I only got a couple little movie reviews today. Nothing major. Oh, there it is. So The Last Chase, Canadian-American film from 1981, although it looks like the filming was done in 79. Directed by Martin Burke, who was also, he's done some interesting stuff, documentaries, a lot of stuff involving, kind of like politics in a nasty way, like, like the folks in power are not to be trusted. Co-writer, though, of Top Secret. He wrote the 1999 Animal Farm film. So let me read like this little blurb, and this is like from Wikipedia, I think. In the year 2011, the United States is a police state. A substantial percentage of the population was wiped out by a devastating viral pandemic 20 years earlier. Amidst the resulting chaos and general panic, democracy collapsed and a totalitarian cabal seized power. After moving the seat of government to Boston, the new dictatorship outlawed private ownership and use of all automobiles, boats, and aircraft on the pretext that an even bigger crisis, the depletion of fossil fuel supplies, was imminent. The loss of other personal freedoms followed, and a mass surveillance system now monitors private citizens' every move. So, a little bit timely. If you ever read or listen to stuff that people are saying at the World Economic Forum, that's pretty much their wet dream. And so this is about this guy, played by Lee Majors, he was a race car driver. He lost his family in the pandemic, and so now he works for like the mass transit system, and he kind of hates it. And he's been secretly getting a car ready so he can make a mad dash for, and this is the part that's really unrealistic, the free state of California, which we now know California would probably be leading the way on a lot of this stuff nowadays. But so because what he did was he buried his race car under his garage, so it was still there. So he was able to bring it, so they didn't know about it. So at any rate, he hooks up with this kid who also wants to be free. And they break out of Boston on their way to California. And then the government grabs this ex-fighter pilot, played by Burgess Meredith, to go after them in a refurbished Sabre jet, from the 50s or early 60s, maybe. So the car is a Porsche 917 Can-Am Roadster. The airplane, a Canadair CL-13 Sabre Mark VI. Just so you know. It's a really interesting movie. There were some folks on Twitter who I saw writing about it, saying it was really good. I found it on YouTube, and it was kind of sitting there. I don't know, Man of War. I don't know. I am not like a car expert, so it is red. Not a car expert, but I do know my colors since kindergarten. It is red. It might be. You should check it out. You can find it on YouTube. It's really, though, like I assumed that it's going to be like a fast-paced sort of like action chase thing. It's really more slower paced and kind of gets into like this world people have been thrown into. And you got like these older guys who remember what it used to be like, you know, and this young kid who doesn't like the situation he's in and he wants out. So it's a little bit like a tour of the United States as they move across. You see things like the bureaucrats who are in charge and, you know, how kind of just smug and evil they are going after the guy. But the pace is kind of like slow. It's actually, in a weird way, almost relaxing to watch. It's not frantic. There are a couple places where it gets a little more frantic, but it's the way it's filmed. It's really interesting. I'm really happy that I saw it. I give it a thumbs up. I think it's worth watching. And, yeah, I didn't get that either. God, I'm bad today. I didn't get a Rush reference. And it's a Canadian film, which means Rush should have been involved somewhere along the line. But you should check it out. It's actually a pretty cool flick. Now, for something completely different, I watched another one of the Carry On movies from the UK. This is Carry On Up the Khyber. Overwhelming safety of Siska. Oh my God, yeah, that's exactly it, man. That's exactly it. God, I wonder if there was like a connection there. Yeah, that's interesting. That's pretty much it, because they talk, the one chief bureaucrat is giving his little speech, which he thinks is rousing and is actually kind of terrifying. This is the safest society that has ever existed on planet Earth, you know, and you're going, wow, man, we're living in a timeline where a lot of movies predicting the evils of science and of, you know, these dystopian futures, they're becoming a little bit more real here. And I'm not being like a conspiracy theorist and stuff, but again, you look at the speeches given at the World Economic Forum, they're saying stuff out loud now. It's not like me saying they want to lock us into 15-minute cities and not let us move anywhere. And people going, oh, that's insane. They're saying that we want to do 15-minute cities and we're going to have checkpoints. You're going, oh my God, yeah. And that's exactly kind of what this is. So that's really interesting, man. That's dead on. Anyhow, Carry On Up the Khyber, set in the British Empire in India. And the main conceit of this film, it's a comedy. And even though there's like a big battle scene at the end, like nobody gets hurt really, because it is very much a comedy. The conceit is that the Scots regiment that protects the Khyber Pass has the locals in awe because they wear kilts with nothing underneath them. And men who would go into battle that way are obviously not to be trifled with. So the locals don't want to go after them. It keeps them in check. And one of the locals discovers that one of them, at least, and then it's revealed all of them, actually have underwear on underneath their kilts. And because of this, it starts a rebellion. Because now they're not afraid of these warriors anymore. Funny ending. It's Carry On, so it's a lot of goofy stuff, a lot of sexual innuendo, etc. But it was pretty damn funny. So I've watched 2 Carry On movies so far, and I got to say I like both of them. So I'm going to watch some more. Yeah, it's only a conspiracy till it's not. Exactly. I mean, some conspiracy stuff is kind of nutty, you know. And I think if you have a deeper understanding of how something works, you can kind of go, well, that doesn't actually make sense. But that doesn't mean there are no conspiracies of people who have goals and want to achieve them. I mean, look, like the guys who, you know, in the back office for the New York Yankees are working out ways to win the World Series, right? And they're not being open about what they're going to do. So you could kind of call that a conspiracy in its way. It's people working secretly together to achieve an end. Maybe some conspiracies are actually good. Never seems that way, though, does it? But yeah, right now they're being pretty open about some of the stuff. And that was Last Chase was a good flick. It's worth watching. But again, it's not like, white knuckle kind of stuff. It's a little slower paced, and it kind of gets into to some degree, like the human cost of living in this kind of society and these people wanting to break free and just live free. So there's something very American about all that. So there you go. Last Chance and Carry On Up the Khyber, which will round out Live in the Den on Father's Day 2025. I hope everybody has a very groovy day. Coming up this week, God, I already forgot what I'm doing this week. Isn't that bad? I usually have stuff done sort of ahead of time. Oh, there we go. So we got Justice League number 24 and Justice League Europe number 1. We're going to look at that on Monday, tomorrow. On Wednesday, Sapphire and Steel. I'm going to be reviewing that series. A very cool British sci-fi series. Kind of weird. Kind of the same vibe as X-Files. You might want to check that out. And then on Friday, assuming that I get my button gear and record the video today, I'm doing a little retrospective on Dakota North, a Marvel series that only got 5 issues that I think is kind of cool. And so I thought I'd take a look at that for folks who have maybe never even heard of it, or maybe you saw the ads back in the day, but you never actually checked it out. You might want to. It's kind of cool, but only 5 issues. So it's not a hard series to collect. And I got most of them out of the 50-cent bin. But I think that'll do it for Dad Live in the Den today. Thank you, everybody. Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast. Anton, thank you for showing up in the chat. Obviously, my wonderful mod and wife, thank you for putting up with me and ordering some donuts, which are waiting in the kitchen right now. I still got some coffee in my cup, so I'm all ready for a coffee and donut. So I hope everybody has a blessed day. God bless everybody. Please be kind to one another. Have a little bit of fun out there. And I will see you again, hopefully soon, in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Thank you, Man of War. God bless you too, man.